Hello, Engineering Management 500 and Professor Gillis. My name is Brian Wilczek, and this is my Greenboard presentation on business in 2025. And before I dive into it, I just wanted to bring up this thought starter. Ray Kurzweil actually tokens himself as a futurist, and what he did was he graphed what $1,000 would get you in computations per second for the last 100 years. And what he found was that the way technology is advancing is actually an exponential function. So there's this snowball effect. It's not like a linear, we're going to get only a little bit better every year. It's like you get better and way better and then extremely better. And what he actually predicts is that in 2027, computer intelligence will surpass human intelligence. And then by 2045, there's something called singularity, in which the human will have to enhance ourselves with technology, turning ourselves into cyborgs, basically, in order to keep up and understand the technology around us. Some of his ideas are a little out there, but the basic concept is a really good idea, and it shows that technology has to be modeled this way, and we have to do our best to adapt to it. Okay, so now a little overview of what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about technology in the workplace, mainly language translation software, and then virtual reality. And then second, I'll talk about how virtual reality ties in to customer contact. Okay, so right now there are a lot of global companies where you deal with a lot of people with different ethnical backgrounds, and English might not be their first language. A lot of them, English is their second language, so it's not too hard to communicate with them, but you still find with a lot of people there's a language barrier. It might take longer to understand them, and it's harder for people to share their ideas and really give their point across to someone that has a different native language. So software exists today, but with the range of dialects of different languages, it doesn't always translate right, and there's kind of a delay. You have to put the input and you wait for the output, and then you could give it to someone and say, this is what I'm trying to tell you. It's a really messy process. So I believe that in the future there'll be instantaneous translation software that'll allow you to talk with anyone from any language around the globe in any dialect, and it'll be able to translate your language into their language into a way that they can understand exactly what you're trying to tell them and exactly what your points are. And because of this, productivity is going to increase, misunderstandings are going to be minimized, and it's going to allow, companies to have broader teams of people from all around the globe, and it won't matter if you know English or if you know Spanish or Chinese or any of that. So this is going to be really exciting when this happens. Okay, next, emerging technology right now is virtual reality. We're seeing it for, game use. Some companies use it for small things, but I believe in the future it's going to be everywhere. Your kids are going to be growing up with it. It's just going to be a part of everyone's lives. So the way that's going to relate to business, we're going to be able to do, collaborative virtual reality meetings. It might not be like Star Wars where you have these holograms talking to each other, but, it'll allow you to have a feeling that you're probably sitting next to someone that could be around the globe. And because of that, you're going to be able to read their body language and, be easier to communicate and give presentations and things like that. And then even further than communicating, you'll be able to use it in the design of different products and, proving out things in the way you wouldn't be able to prove out unless you had a physical model. Like say, how is this ratio, this door handle, like in the automotive company, for instance, like a door handle, the way it feels or the way it looks on a door, compared to the ratio of how big the door is, just something like that. And also be able to use, assembly verification in automotive companies or any company really, just to see, you can get a visual for how these parts are going together, and you really gauge how big they are and if it's going to be difficult to install or not. Some you can do on a computer screen right now, but it's really hard to get a real world feeling for it. So I think virtual reality is going to allow us to do that in the near future. Okay, and then the way this is going to relate to management, with all this different technology and software that's going to be out there, it's going to allow people to work remotely or telecommute more often. And because of that, as a manager, You're going to have to be able to manage people without actually being around them all the time. You may never be around them. If you manage someone in China and Mexico and Japan, they're all on your team, you're going to have to overcome that. And another challenge is that, these people are going to have different, ethical backgrounds. You're really going to have to do your research in how people expect to be treated. Otherwise, you're not stepping on people's toes when you don't mean to. And, the manager that's going to be able to overcome that and roll with these changes is going to be the most successful. Okay, and then the last point I want to make today is how virtual reality will actually tie into how companies interact with consumers. So again, taking another example from automotive, there's these dealerships within driving distance of everyone in the country right now. With the internet, though, a lot of people, they'll go on, they'll build and price a vehicle before they go to a dealership, and then they'll go there and try to find it. But I think virtual reality will be able to enhance this experience where people are going to be able to do more of their research at home and really get a feel for what car they want. Because, when you're looking on a computer screen, it's not the same as being around it. And I think virtual reality is going to take that next step to get it to where people can do the whole process at home. And then the dealership will just be a place that they go to pick up the car. So there won't be these salesmen anymore. And then the companies that are going to be able to adapt and give these consumers these options are going to be the most successful. Okay, and that wraps up what I was going to talk about today. So thank you for listening. Hope you have a good day.